Thanks for stopping by the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice.
What is up, you guys? Listen, I wasn't going to re-record this because I was having some audio issues when I previously did this, and I said, you know what? I got a little bit of time, a few minutes, so yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. But listen, Porsha, she was celebrating the fact that the courts have denied Simon's appeal for the prenup to be reopened, reviewed, reinvestigated, whatever, but pretty much he wanted to have it overturned. And the court said, denied. I wasn't really that surprised by it because I don't even really think that he cared that much at this point in time if they did find in his favor, because I still don't believe the man is planning on paying her anything. So she put a post on social media saying, it's over. Thank goodness. Prayer hands, heart, grateful. And then he responded in his stories and said, here we go again with Miss 265. Still has learned absolutely nothing. It's over my ass. Laughing emojis. So again, like I said, the man ain't mad. He's been celebrating life. If you go to his Instagram, you can see he's just living the life over in Dubai. He had a new Range Rover or Land Rover, whatever it was, a Defender or something, that he was debuting, having it uncovered at his home and just showcasing that he's unbothered, he's still rich, and he still don't plan on paying Porsha any money. Okay. But the fact that she's celebrating when she still doesn't have any money, and from the looks of things, she's going to have to put that house up on the market. And also another thing, guys, that I learned, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently Simon got that mansion as an interest-only loan. So there probably isn't even any equity in it in the first place. So it would literally have to be sold, and whatever is remaining after all of the liens, the bank gets, what they are supposed to get their pay, to get it paid off so they can be reimbursed, and all of the things that, has to happen when a home is not paid off in full, and then you have liens on it and all the other stuff and all the other things. There isn't really looking like there's going to be much equity for any of them. And at this point in time, I don't think Simon even really cares, because he is no longer a resident of the United States. He was not a citizen, and he said, it's over my ass. And he also wrote in his stories, plot twist, you didn't make the cut for Daddy December 2025 with the flag for Nigeria, I suppose. And then he wrote hashtag find another daddy. Listen, both of these people are just like insufferable. But like I said before, I still am not a fan of Porsha in this situation, even though I'm not sitting here and rooting for either one of them. But the fact that Porsha, it's just, I feel like at this point in time, she just doesn't really even care. It's just like, yeah, I'm a gold digger, and what? And I am all for women being in like real, true, genuine relationships where they're not suffering and struggling. Have no issues with that. But also, I'm not a fan of anyone getting with someone just for the money. And clearly, Simon knew that she was getting with him just for the money. But men like that, and men who have money that may not be the best looking people in the world, they pretty much know that. I wouldn't say it's an even exchange, but it's an exchange that they agree to. until things work out in a way or don't work out in a way that they want them to work. But I still don't believe that that woman deserves to get a life insurance policy on his life where she will be the beneficiary of it. She didn't even have any kids with this man. Like, are you freaking kidding me? But listen, this is entertainment at this point for us. I ain't involved in it. You ain't involved in it. But we're just watching, eating our popcorn from the sidelines as the two of them go back and forth with this very public tragedy. But Simon's living his life and looking like he's living it very well and extremely unbothered, because it's like, what are y'all gonna do to me? Who gonna check me, boo? I'm no longer in this country. Or should I say, no longer in her country. So yeah, for right now, on paper, it's a win for her. But again, a lot of people are of the agreement and of the opinion. And yeah, it's our opinion, but it's looking like she still ain't getting no money. So who really cares about a paper judgment that you can't collect on? So we'll see where this goes. We're going to continue to just check it out as news continues to come out about this divorce that's probably going to last longer than the marriage did. And we'll just talk about it more as more comes out. But anyway, guys, you let me know what you think in the comments.
Speaking of Atlanta,
Yes, I love Atlanta-ish.
I think Atlanta has run out of people.
No. What do you mean run out of people?
So apparently, Real Housewives of Atlanta has K. Michelle from Love and Hip Hop on their show.
Okay, you had to clarify that though. Okay, but we're going to speak to that, but go ahead.
And Married to Medicine has Angel from Basketball Wives on their show. Atlanta has run out of people.
Okay, Angel from Basketball
She was a nurse. Really pretty girl.
Who is she? Who's the basketball wife she's married to?
Are any of them ever married to a
Well,
basketball
we're dealing with.
player? I don't know. I just know that she was on Basketball Wives like a number of seasons ago. But,
Okay.
and it might have been like the LA version.
Is Married to Medicine supposedly, allegedly filming now? Are they filming now?
I guess so. I saw a picture of her filming a confessional for Married to Medicine.
Oh, wow. Okay. So are we renting and recycling?
That's what it looks like. So I'm like, out of all the people in Atlanta, now they're like, I really thought the the network or the shows tried to like avoid crossovers from different networks.
True.
But I am like, Atlanta is running out of people.
Well,
because you're using people from other networks now.
But that's but 85, it stays on traffic. So they're not running out of people.
Right.
They got plenty of people in Atlanta.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about K. Michelle really quickly.
Okay.
And this is allegedly, we do not know because it has not been said officially that she's on the show. I'm not mad at it. I feel like at first I was like, what? K. Michelle, that's weird. But out of the Love and Hip Hop, because I'm a Love and Hip Hop girl.
Right.
So out of the Love and Hip Hop world, there are very few people that I feel like have left that behind them and have gone on to do so many other things that it really wasn't a factor.
But she was already somebody before Love and Hip Hop. She was already who she was before Love and Hip Hop.
Is that a question?
No, I'm telling you.
Oh, you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I think those people can come and go.
Okay.
And then you have people, Cardi B is one who was pretty much created on Love and Hip Hop.
Yes,
and
totally.
Then now she's created on Love and Hip Hop.
Yes,
and
totally.
Then now she's somebody else. But I think K. Michelle already had her career.
That's what I'm saying. So her being a housewife, she's married now. Her being a housewife, I'm not mad at it.
So you're saying Love and Hip Hop doesn't define her?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So I'm actually here for it.
Okay.
For K. Michelle.
Okay.
If that is happening allegedly. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just like when I saw that, and then it was K. Michelle. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then it was when I saw this other girl, Angel, was filming Marriage Medicine. I'm like, okay, what is going on here?
They ran out of people.
Okay. And I didn't think it was possible, but they did.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go into this briefly again. So you saw the videos, you saw the clips. Robyn, who used to be on Real Housewives of Potomac, and Gizelle, who still is, and they still both are doing the Reasonably Shady podcast. But the thing about it is, I am all for K. Michelle and her reads a lot of times. Sometimes, it can be really funny, and we all, I believe, can agree with the reads that she has given to Rasheeda and her husband with the 3 earrings, Kirk, on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. But with all of that being said, I'm just of the opinion, you may not like the messenger and you may favor the person that the messenger was talking about over the messenger, meaning you may favor K. Michelle over Robyn, and that's cool. And it really is no shade, but I don't believe that Robyn had any ill will with anything that she said. I don't believe she was trying to be shady or dirty or anything like that when it came to K. Michelle. I think the point that she was really trying to get to while not naming production was really talking about production, really talking about the production of Real Housewives of Atlanta and just Atlanta overall, because she also brought up Married to Medicine, which isn't even like the same production company, but it's Bravo. And she talked about them adding a person who used to be on Basketball Wives, who's going to be on the upcoming season of Married to Medicine. And then she mentioned K. Michelle. So she was just pretty much saying they're running out of people because it just, to her, and it's her opinion. Again, it's her opinion. She was just saying it just seems like they're grasping to find people versus just regular people that nobody knows about, because I'll be honest, even though the Real Housewives of Atlanta started with season 2 bringing on someone that a lot of people were already familiar with, which was Kandi Burruss from the group Escape. So she was pretty much already famous and well known and rich. But the Housewives shows have been primarily about bringing people on that most people don't know that were supposed to be living well. And so I'm not mad at what Robyn said. And I kind of feel a little bit bad for her, because I'm of the opinion, because this is just how I've seen Gizelle throughout all of these seasons of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I feel like she threw Robyn under the bus, because I believe that if it wasn't about K. Michelle, then Gizelle would have agreed. So she's like, oh, I'm not mad at it. I hear what you're saying, but like, I'm not mad at them bringing on K. Michelle. I'm okay with that addition. Yeah, you're okay with it because you don't want that smoke. That's what my personal opinion is. Robyn said what she said, and K. Michelle, she posted up under the clip that was posted on social media. And she said, why be so worried about me and my overly educated and successful self and what I might be doing? Robyn, you ran out of a job a long time ago. You would love to be recycled, you little couch potato, just yapping. You should have ran through that hotel lobby where your husband was, lady. Gizelle, you look beautiful. Leave me alone and let me go yodel in peace. I'm around here selling out shows and you selling baseball hats. But you worried about me and what I might be doing. The nerve of this couch potato. And again, I felt, oh my God, was it really that serious? Because if you really listen to the context of what Robyn was saying, it wasn't so much she was coming for K. Michelle and saying that I don't think she's a good fit for the show, but she was talking about they're bringing on other people from other franchises. She was mainly talking about production. And again, it's the messenger, because a lot of people were like, yeah, Robyn, you just mad because you ain't on Housewives of Potomac anymore, and just other stuff that some people were saying. But there are actually some people that agree with it. And I'm one of those people. I'm not saying that I agree 100% with what she said, but I get where she was coming from. I don't think she had any ill intent or any harm against K. Michelle, because she also brought up the fact about Married to Medicine bringing on someone from Basketball Wives. And she just was talking about Atlanta franchise overall and said Atlanta's running out of people. And it was kind of looking that way. And to some people, it still looks that way, because when you look at some posts, some of them are speculative, of course. But I've seen posts on social media. I haven't watched Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in ages. I haven't watched Love and Hip Hop overall in ages, but I used to watch it back in the day. And I have seen these posts across social media. Someone said that Tammy Rivera, who used to be married to Waka Flocka, they were on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and they had their own reality show for a little while. They're saying that she's going to be a friend of on this upcoming season. I've seen posts saying that they're going to be bringing on Carly Red. Again, these things are speculative. Nothing has really been confirmed. And honestly, not even K. Michelle has like literally been confirmed by the network and production that she's going to be on there. They've just been showing clips where it definitely looks like she's filming with them in this upcoming season, and some cryptic posts that she's done on social media that has people wondering who is she talking about, wonder who she was filming with, did someone piss her off when they were filming today, so that type of stuff has been going on. But I don't think Robyn meant any harm by it. I've seen a few other comments that I was like, yeah, I'm not the only one looking at this like, what's really going on? Somebody said Robyn didn't say anything bad. And I love K. Michelle, but that response was way too much for nothing. And somebody else said, as much as I don't care for Robyn, does anyone else feel like Kimberly overreacted like she always does? Laughing emoji. And somebody else said, I'm puzzled why K. Michelle came at Robyn so aggressively. What did Robyn do or say to deserve that? She stated nothing but facts. She's not wrong. I guess some people can't handle the truth. And yeah, a lot of people are of the agreement with K. Michelle to say one thing Robyn is going to do, and that's to get ate up every time. And baby, K. Michelle ain't the one. Robyn, abort mission. But she wasn't coming for K. Michelle. And I'm one of those people where it's like, Robyn wasn't one of my favorite people as the seasons went on, but I don't hate the lady. I don't know her to hate her, but I can say when I feel like something is right or something is wrong, and it's not just because I like somebody that I'm going to stand up for everything that they do. And although I was all for, and still am to this day, even though it happened many years ago, K. Michelle coming at Rasheeda the way that she did, and Kirk with his 3 earrings and all that stuff, I just felt like this was too much. And then also her saying, Gizelle, you look beautiful. That's why I'm also like, yeah, Gizelle knew what she was doing. She threw Robyn under the bus. And it's like, oh, well, I'm okay with it. I thought the whole point of the Reasonably Shady podcast, it was supposed to be Robyn was the reasonable one and Gizelle was the shady one. Do you all remember when they brought up this concept and they announced that they were doing this on the Real Housewives of Potomac, whatever season that was? And Gizelle said it herself. We're calling it Reasonably Shady because, Robyn, she's more of the reasonable one and I'm more of the shady one. Oh, but for this, she couldn't be shady. She's like, no, I can't handle that smoke when it comes to K. Michelle. So I'm just going to let you handle that one, Robyn. And I'll just sit on the sidelines and say, yeah, I'm okay with it. Girl, please. I am buying it one bit. I am actually of the opinion that I believe Gizelle agreed with everything that Robyn said. But when they were filming, then she wanted to switch it up. That's my personal opinion. And you can let me know what you think in the comments. Feel free to disagree, and that's good and cool and all of that. But this is my opinion, and I stand on that. So I want to know what you guys think, and so let me know. And oh yeah, by the way, Robyn definitely did respond. And I like the fact that she just did it with a little bit of grace and humor, because it really should not have been that serious for K. Michelle to go there. I guess she was just in a mood and just really wasn't in the mood that day when she said what she said. But Robyn was like, still selling satin line baseball hats from my couch. I love it here. And she put her website up and talked about some sales that they have going on right now. And, it's like, do what you do. Just keep it moving, keep it pushing, because I feel like she knows that Gizelle threw her under the bus. I'm sorry. I just don't see it for Gizelle. I don't. And that woman knew exactly what she was doing. She's a slick one. Definitely, she's the shady in the Reasonably Shady podcast. And I don't know, for me, it's just something about Black people when they sit and compare when it comes to careers and money and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just something like, it bothers me when I see people do that. I'm all for people being successful in their own right, but what you're anointed to do may not be what someone else is anointed to do. So don't throw shade on somebody else because they're not as successful as you are, and you're comparing, all of the great accolades that you have and all of the wonderful things that you're doing in comparison to somebody who's doing what they're doing. Maybe they have peace with what they're doing. Now, yeah, Robyn She was made to look like a fool by Juan on that show, for sure. But we ain't talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac at this point in time because she's not on the show anymore. And so, yeah, I just get annoyed when I see women, especially black women, do stuff like that. And so, yeah, Mia Thornton, formerly of the Real Housewives of Potomac, and has been thirsty all over social media, trying her best to at least get a friend of role on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, if not a peach, showcasing that her and Bobby Valentine or Bobby Valentino, whatever his name is, all I can remember is him stiffing that trans woman that he did not pay, running out of that hotel room with his pants down around his ankles years ago. I'm sorry, I could never get that image out of my mind. But either way, she made her official divorce announcement on social media, saying, "Divorced but not defeated. My heart is still full. My faith unshaken and my future wide open. Divorce does not define me. Reinvention does. Watch me rise higher, love deeper, and live freer than ever before." Girl, marriage didn't define you because you were acting like you were single when you were with the man. Okay? Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I have no words for this woman. This heifer is just a trip. And I don't even really know about that storyline that she had the last season she was on there when it came to her and Gordon and him having mental issues. And I'm not saying that he doesn't. He very well may, or suffered with some sort of issues or whatever, but I just don't. I just can't get that. I will never understand that, and I will never try to. Because if you're going to be married to that person, I mean, it's supposed to be for better or for worse. It's supposed to be. But she was just like, girl, I've had the better. I'm not dealing with the worse. So yeah, I'll stick with him in this marriage for a little while, and I'll do my best to try to help him out. But yeah, I got to have me a boyfriend. I don't know. It's just weird. And yeah, it was like entertaining a bit to see it on this reality show because it was allegedly the reality, but I don't even believe that it was reality. A lot of people are like, "Congratulations, Gordon. You're the real winner. Girl, bye. You are not a victim." Somebody else said, "And we still don't want to see her on RHOA." Thank you. Congrats to Gordon for finally being free from those Mia shackles. Mia, go away. You and Britt are so traumatic. Damn, they're comparing her to Britt, and she wasn't even on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But anyway, yeah, she's talking about watch her be free. Girl, you were being free while you were in the marriage. So, like, what are you even talking about? But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Oh, child, I can't even talk about this too much. I saw the clips on social media. I do not watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but the Yandy and Rasheeda back and forth situation, the weirdest part to me, first and foremost, was breaking the fourth wall to talk about actually Love and Hip Hop while they're both filming and talking to the cameras and each other, talking about Love and Hip Hop and comparing who is the, I don't know, the person that has been the best for the Love and Hip Hop franchise, because they're sitting there comparing New York to Atlanta. Well, mine is still here. Yours got canceled and all other back and forth, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, you cannot take away the fact that Yandy actually was, I don't know, she's still in a producer role. And I don't know, she gave that up to be in front of the cameras versus being behind it. But I believe it was her idea. So when Yandy said, I gave you a job, you should be thanking me. I mean, in a way, she was kind of right, honestly. But the second weirdest thing, and maybe just the most out of it all, the two of them going back and forth, arguing about husbands as if either one has the opportunity to flex on another when it comes to comparing the relationships and the men in their lives. Because let's be clear, in my personal opinion, it's like comparing constipation to diarrhea. I mean, none is favorable. It's all shit. So like I don't want to have either. I don't want to be constipated, and I don't want to have diarrhea. So it's like sitting there arguing back and forth with each other about the men in their lives to act as if one has a better situation than another. It's just it's that part. I feel like they should have left it alone. I feel like they should have left it alone, because we could go down the list of things when it comes to Mendices and Kirk with his 3 earrings. But honestly, I'm just saying, I feel like more people know about the terribleness of Kirk from over the years, because a lot of people have been watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta from the very beginning. And just in the freaking second season, was it the second season or the first season? Actually, I think it was the first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta where Kirk was embarrassing her. Definitely the infamous K. Michelle Kirk with his 3 earrings and Rasheeda Got Bag song. Seriously. But the second season where he was talking about he's tired of being married, he's tired of raising his kids, he just want to have some fun, and he went up to the cabin and they got all that stuff on video. I mean, honestly, at one point I felt like it was fake. I was like, this cannot be real, can it? But then I don't even know. But either way, even if it was fake, it's disgusting. You know what I mean? Him having a threesome with these chicks and, well, this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. And then you have Yandy when New York was a thing. And then you have Yandy yelling and fussing with Mendici, 2 other baby mamas and all the other stuff that was going on. And did she really get married? Did she sign the marriage certificate? Him going to prison? It was just a lot. So either way, like I said, that whole situation was just weird to me, because it's like, neither are favorable. I wouldn't want either one of them. Like, both of them are shit. So leave it in the toilet, flush it down. I don't want to see it anymore. But yeah, I just thought that was weird. It was not a flex for either of them to sit and talk about each other's husbands. But you cannot take away when it comes to Yandy and the business stuff. It's legitimate. You can't take that away. But them going back and forth about the husbands, it's like, ugh, crazy. And then it just looks weird. I don't watch the show anymore, but to see the clips of Rasheeda and Kirk and the baby mama Jasmine, and they're seeming like they're one big happy family, whereas had some people speculating, maybe they're both, or not they're both, they're all doing the do together. I don't know. So many people are so weird, and the things that they do, nothing would surprise me anymore. But at this point in time, like I said, I just feel like the whole thing is just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, let me know if you watched it. What do you think about them going back and forth, trading the blows, against each other, and Rasheeda acting like she's the queen of Love and Hip Hop because New York got canceled? Oh, okay. But what about your husband and all of the shenanigans that he's done over the years, and the fact that it's kind of looking like this is all y'all really have? And if you all were not on the show anymore, then you probably would go the way of like a number of people have done after they have no longer had the checks that they've secured being on a reality show to fund their other businesses, like Kenya Moore, like even Candy, even though we know Candy's got money, but the restaurants are shutting down. So I'm just saying. So is it really that much of a flex to brag on this show when you don't really know what's going to happen the next season? Nothing's guaranteed. But anyway, guys, you let me know what you think, because I talked too long about this situation than I intended to talk about it. And okay, guys, so Nene is doing some things, or has done some things, hosting behind the scenes and after the Emmys, before the Emmys, whatever. And hey, honestly, she looks really good, and I'm happy for her. But clearly it's looking like she's getting back into the good graces of NBC Universal and some others. And I believe this is what she has been wanting all along, because she had been blackballed for a while. and she had the lawsuit situation going on. So my question is, because this is something that I've thought for a while, and I've said it before too, so this is nothing new. I'm not having a new thought right now, but I just have a question, and I really want to know what you guys think, because I believe this is the type of stuff that she's been wanting to do for a while, literally be employed by the higher ups where she could get a bag and she's just showing up to do the work and she collects her check. Not so much something that she has to do on her own, because the Nene Leakes show that she's been doing on YouTube, interviewing people, and honestly, some of the people that she's interviewed, I don't really think people really care about them, especially being it, you know, an interview with Nene Leakes. It's like, okay. But again, that's something that she has to do. And yes, I'm sure she has staff and assistants and people that she pays to help her. But again, that's something that she has to work to do. That is different. Things were different when Greg was still here, when she had the Lanithia Lounge, and he was really doing a lot of the things to really help her with those businesses, as well as the boutiques that she had and all of those different things. So those things went by the wayside. I believe, like Housewives, where she just showed up to do the work, show up for the cameras, be dressed, look fabulous, say whatever she, you know, has on her mind and just speaks it and gets paid. That's what I believe Nene wants. I don't believe she really wants to do that Nene Leakes show where it's something that it's her own. It would be different if it was, let's say, the Nene Leakes show where it was someone else really employing her, but her name was on it, and all she really had to do was show up, talk about the subjects that they had listed for her to talk about, and pretty much the work was done for her. She just needed to show up to do her thing and put her spin on it and bloop it and all the other stuff that she does and get paid. Nene wants to get paid, but I don't really believe she wants to be producing in that way, in terms of it being her own thing that she has to do the work for herself. Because when it's your own, you have a lot of stuff that you have to do. Even if you have 50 assistants, you still have to be able to delegate. You have to be able to curate. You have to be able to do all of the things that a real boss does. And I feel like a lot of people, they just like the title and the label of a boss, but you don't really want to do that work. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone is an entrepreneur. It's fine. So I just wanted to talk about that, because that's what I picked up when I saw her. And she looks, like I said, she looks great. But I believe these are the moments that she's been waiting for. And I believe that she's looking forward to having more opportunities like this. She was supposed to be on Traders, but she turned it down because of the health of her son. And I completely understand that. But again, if she did that, again, that would be her being employed to just show up, do the work, get the bag, and keep it moving. And then on to the next thing. Somebody in the comments said, she looks great. Her and Porsha def go to the same doctor. No shade. They have the best work. And I'm not even going to lie. She kind of is looking like Porsha in the face a little bit. I can't even front. But anyway, guys, I want to know what you think. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.